Good morning. It is a weird day here in Orlando because every theme park is closed. And with every theme park closed, it means you can't get in, but we're going to do something interesting today and still go to Magic Kingdom. It's not what you're thinking. We're not actually going into the park. We're not going to be doing any of those Urban Explorer expeditions. No, we're going to be taken to the skies today. In order to get above Magic Kingdom, we need to be 3,000 feet in the air. Above the other parks, not so much. Epcot still has that barrier. Kind of Buena Vista Drive between Epcot and Hollywood Studios is the barrier that we can go ahead and start to lower ourselves, but we're going to take a helicopter up into the sky and see how empty these parks are. It's going for 10 a.m. right now. We should be in the sky shortly. Once you get into this air, though, the audio quality is going to be absolutely horrendous. So I'm just going to put some nice music over the top, but you should still be able to see what it looks like from a couple hundred feet in the air. This is going to be one exciting ride and hopefully pretty interesting, especially with today's announcement that everything else is closing tomorrow or by the end of the week. So yeah, it's something. So I'm going to be recording voiceover for this because the wind just got a little too noisy. We started our trip over on International Drive at one of the helicopter locations with their name and location disclosed because I don't want to tell you which one it was. But as you can see, it was pretty cloudy outside. We're going to cut here through a bit and take you over the quickly over the convention center. And then you can really just see here we got a nice view over SeaWorld as we approached over to get to the Disney area. We were about 1,200 feet and we had to get to above 3,500 feet in order to break the temporary flight restriction around Epcot and Magic Kingdom. From this point forward, I'm going to refer to the temporary flight restriction or restricted area as the TFR. It'll just make it easier as we talk because it's going to be about 10 minutes of cool copter footage here. But in order to get above the clouds, we had to really jump over 1,000 feet really quick, which led to this really cool Soarin' type moment. You can see a bit of the copter blades there. But as we approach the clouds, it's like dun 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 dun. Yeah, this is a really fun ride. But at this point in the air, it was cold, and windy. You're going to start seeing the camera gets kind of blown out because the stabilizer just didn't want to work in the actual camera. So it tries to focus and it tries to unfocus. Here you have a little bit of Disney Springs with, of course, a cloud on the way. You can see the Lanuba Cirque du Soleil building to the far right. Well, I guess not Lanuba, it's drawn to life now. And then the parking garage is gigantic. But a nice just aerial view of Disney Springs. Moving over here to the left, you can see some old Key Wests. And then you can start to see some of Epcot. This is, like I said, we were really high in the air. It was really windy. With the wind hit my camera, the copter vibrations, this video is very rough. But you can still see Epcot right through the clouds. This is a really cool moment. And our pilot turned so that we were like almost hanging out over Epcot. Like I said, this was a doors off flight. We didn't have any doors on protecting us. We just had some nice seatbelts. Cutting a little bit where you can see a bit of Boardwalk, Swan and Dolphin, and Hollywood Studios from really high above. I'm not going to focus on this now. We're going to cut ahead a little bit because we get closer to studios in just a few minutes. Approaching the back, we went down Western Way above Coronado Springs, and you can see the back of Animal Kingdom. This is going to be Kilimanjaro Safaris. So I know we always talk about how big Safaris is, but it is literally like half the park size. It's gigantic. This is just another side view of Kilimanjaro Safaris. As we came around the corner, we were looking for any way with any cloud cover to get down and get lower. Animal Kingdom Lodge. And you can still see the camera's kind of still vibrating quite a bit here. The goal with getting lower is that the copter can't go through the clouds. It's just not recommended. It's not safe. So with the cloud cover out there, we really had to figure out a way to get through where we could. So we had to go to the south to then go lower to then reapproach. That temporary flight restricted area is a 3 nautical mile radius from Cinderella Castle. Excuse my hand there on the side for a second. I realized at this point that the camera wasn't working and I tried to stabilize it, but a little too late. This is Animal Kingdom in front of us here. Get a nice view of the pond behind Expedition Everest and the surrounding area. Then a little bit of Blizzard Beach. So that temporarily restricted area is 3 nautical miles in a circle around Cinderella Castle. So that basically goes down to Buena Vista Drive, which is the dividing line between Epcot Resorts and Hollywood Studios. So that road where the Speedway and runs along Tower of Terror, you can actually see it a bit here. It's at the other side of Studios to the north there. And here's our approach to Hollywood Studios. As you can see, this parking lot, which is typically full, is empty. The bottom right parking lot there is actually the cast member lot where the cast members park for their shifts. And then anywhere to the back, you can see the bus loops, and between the bus loops and the cast lot is all the regular guest lot. And that is typically full. We did this flight just after what would be park open, or an hour or so after it. This flight was done around 10 a.m. Yep, there's some Star Wars Hotel. And I can tell you, a 10 a.m. flight after parks should be open is really just an eerie thing. We're going to circle Hollywood Studios here to give you a total better look as to what actually, was going on and happening. And you can see just empty streets, empty Galaxy's Edge. The entire main area hub of Hollywood Studios is just empty. Security, the park entry, empty. I'm going to pan over here for a second. You can see the Fantasmic area as well. Fantasmic from the sky is really an impressive thing. I mean, you can Google Maps as much as you want, but it's impressive. Tower of Terror is there. Rock and Roller Coaster building to the right. You can see how far you actually shoot out of the main area that you load in. You can see the old feature animation building there in the center. Has kind of like the skylight on top. That is where they animated Brother Bear. I believe they animated Mulan there as well, and a few other Disney classics. Parking garage behind it is still used by cast today, and a lot of the feature animation building is administrative resources for Hollywood Studios because they lost all of it for Toy Story and Galaxy's Edge expansion. I think you saw a truck driving through the middle right there. Yeah, middle of Toy Story Land, just driving on through. That's some typical maintenance stuff that will happen in the Disney parks when there's no guests in the park. They will, drive maintenance trucks through the areas because the paths are wide enough and they need to transport things. But zooming up, you can see some of Epcot as well. It looks really cool from this angle. Typically, copters can't get below, like the road right there that runs in the middle. You can't get beyond it. We're at about 1,500 or about 1,500 feet right now in that area, right below the clouds. The clouds were about at 1,500 feet this morning. You can see some Art of Animation and Pop Century here, and we're going to go over the Wild World of Sports while I talk about what happens next. So in order to get over that TFR, temporary, yeah, TFR, that's all we're going to say anymore. I'm tired of saying temporary. So the TFR over Magic Kingdom is 3,500 feet. I think we were originally told it was 3,000, but our pilot insisted it was 3,500 feet. So we had to be above 3,500 feet in order to get over Magic Kingdom and Epcot, which is why the Epcot approach was so high. So we went down to the south to start gaining altitude back. Oh, and here's a little clip of the new college program housing that's over near Flamingo Crossing. It's gigantic. There are 4 stories. There's so many buildings. Flamingo Crossing is really expanding right now. It's really great. But back on the TFR. So we went down to the south to gain speed and to gain height. And our pilot called in just to ask for potential clearance, see if he can just go through at 1,500 feet. And they came back, the clearance, and said, yeah, you can go through Magic Kingdom area, the TFR, at 1,500 feet if you are fast and do not stop and do not orbit. So this was our approach right over Polynesian Contemporary Magic Kingdom area. You'll have to excuse my hand here. This was really windy. The wind was coming right at us. But you can see Polynesian right there below us and the bungalows, the Transportation Ticket Center, Grand Floridian to the left, all of Seven Seas Lagoon. You can see that seatbelt fluttering. It is windy. I know the quality of the video is not the best, but I think this is still really cool to share with you guys. And I hope you agree. And there it is, Magic Kingdom. Like I said, this video was taken on Monday, the 16th, the first day of the parks being closed. We were above Magic Kingdom here. This is about 10:25, 20-ish in the morning, so well after the park would be open, and it is entirely empty. Really, really just an eerie sight to behold, especially in broad daylight like this. I mean, you can get it with some of these helicopters. Some of the guys will come in early to get you there if you wanted to at like sunrise or so, but it's far and few between. But seeing this in its time, even the cast lot to the bottom right, that's one of the Pluto lot that they use for a lot of the construction guys, that was empty as well. And then you're going to see a shot here to the back right hand side. You can see the cast member lots are entirely empty at Magic Kingdom as well. And then I thought we would just end it, flying back in. This is the true Florida. This is the Windermere area. Lakes, ponds, trees, houses. This is the true Florida.